Thank you very much. You're done. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the committee. I think I'll begin by offering the thanks that we've heard already for the public service that you all do in the very late evenings, and it's much appreciated. My name is John Flaherty, and I'm here this evening representing Grossmart, Rhode Island. As was mentioned, I do chair the TAC, the Transportation Advisory Committee. I'm not speaking for the TAC this evening, but I think one of the points that I wanted to make is that the continued lack of predictable and sustainable funding for RIPTA has meant that this scene tonight has to repeat itself every year. And I hope that next year at this time, we're not having the same conversations. I would urge the committee to be considering and thinking about actually establishing a long-term sustainable funding method for RIPTA. There are plenty of opportunities for that to happen. We have some ideas for that, and it will avoid us having to do this again and again, because it also raises questions about people hear this again and they wonder, what's wrong with this agency? The agency's actually run quite efficiently, and that's been demonstrated again and again through audits, reviews, including those that have been done by the legislature. So another point I wanted to make is that across this country, cities and states are investing in better transit and walkable communities and bikeable communities as leaders position their cities and their states to compete for young talent in a rapidly changing economy. In 2024, last year, 51 cities or metro regions passed ballot measures to improve their public transit systems. And Rep. Tanzi mentioned earlier the story about Hasbro, the fact that they're prioritizing convenient access to public transit wherever they may go next. We hope they stay in Rhode Island, but we do know that that's something that's important to transit. This we do know. Quality public transit systems boost economic development, help to accelerate location-efficient housing. We have a housing crisis in this state. We need to build a lot more. Transit plays an important role in that. It also helps to ease traffic congestion, climate emissions. I'll end with a bit of a fun story. I didn't realize we were going to have somebody from Transit App here this evening. And some of you may know that we've been taking civic and elected leaders and business leaders out for bus rides to get coffee and talk transit. Rep. Tanzi's done one of those. And two of the more recent ones were Mayor Smiley and former DEM Director Janet Coit, who's just returned to Rhode Island. We just went out last week. And one of the things that I tend to do when we're at the bus stop waiting for the bus to take us back is I'll take my phone out and I'll say, I want to show you the app on the phone and how it works, the wayfinding. And in both cases, they both took their phones out and said, I think I have that. And sure enough, they did have it, but they didn't have it for using it in Rhode Island. Mayor Smiley was using it when he was in Chicago, and Janet Coit uses it in DC. And I think that they both acknowledged, they realized that our transit system here doesn't run with the level of frequency to make it a viable option for most people. When they go to those other cities, it is a viable option. I hope we get to the point where they both use the transit app here in Rhode Island. So I'm supporting the 5 transit funding bills, supporting the Bill 6006 to fund the implementation of the bike mobility plan. I hope that you support both of those or all of those, and we can get on with it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you kindly for your information tonight. It's very useful. Rep. Tanzi, please.
Just, John, if you wouldn't mind just filling in the blanks for us in terms of how the prioritization happens in the TAC process.
So as Barry mentioned, tomorrow is the TAC meeting. We're going to be getting a presentation about the STIP, the State Transportation Improvement Program. We're going to be learning what the amounts are for each of the buckets of funding that, to this point, frankly, even as a member of the TAC, I haven't been aware of. So we're just learning that, and then there's going to be deliberation about which of the projects should advance to the STIP. I believe that that the Division of Planning is making a preliminary recommendation. They're going to present a draft based on their review analysis using scoring criteria. But then it's open to the public, and we welcome that. We have a lot of public comment, top of the agenda, bottom of the agenda. You can do it through Zoom. You can do it in person. It's a very open process. And so Rep. Tansey is right. There's a lot of projects that have been submitted by municipalities that we think are great projects. The question is, are we going to actually have the resources to fund it?
And that is tomorrow at what time?
It's at 5:30 p.m. And the agenda has links to the Zoom link as well as to all of the other materials that we're going to be discussing tomorrow.
Okay. And RIPTA also has a board meeting tomorrow at 1:30 at their headquarters. So another opportunity for people to weigh in. And while I didn't use the transit app because I'm going to check next to see if I have it on my phone, I did just use the Apple Maps, and I have one option to get myself home on the bus right now this evening, and that would be at 11:53, and it would take me 2 hours and 40 minutes to get home. Otherwise, it would be 40 minutes for me to drive my single car. And I'll also point out that we have a train station right there that also lands in my town, but there's no service because the state of Rhode Island depends solely on MBTA and on Amtrak for its service. We don't provide our own train service in the state. So thank you.